let's remember the equation of a circle. Somewhere along the line you have seen the equation of a circle, whether it be in a college algebra course or a high school algebra course. But let's remember what a circle looks like as far as the equation. So you might want to write this down. The equation of a circle with the center at 0, 0 and some radius r is x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Somewhere in your mathematical career you've probably seen that, but you might want to write it down. Okay? If you haven't worked with it for a while, you may have forgotten, but that's okay. Let me do a quick little example. Let's sketch the circle x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. Okay? So I'll draw a little Cartesian coordinate system here. Okay. Notice it's centered at 0, 0 because it's in this form. So I'll put C for center. Now let's figure out what the radius of the circle is. Well, 9 is the same thing as r squared. So r must equal 3. So the radius of this circle must be 3. So it's got a center at the origin, and the radius is 3, and therefore it must look something like this. There is the equation, x squared plus y squared. Okay, so circles aren't too difficult if you get them in the proper form. All right, let's talk about a special circle. That will be a circle with radius 1. Okay, we're going to call that the unit circle because it has a radius of 1 unit. So the unit circle is the circle centered at 0, 0 with radius 1. So what's the equation? Well, the equation must be x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. So we have to memorize this equation. That is going to be the unit circle. Okay, let's take a look at this circle. Okay, so I've plotted a circle. It has a radius of 1. Okay, so let's label some points on this circle. If it's centered at 0, 0, and has a radius of 1, that means this is the point 1, 0. This radius is 1, so 1 unit up is the point 0, 1. This point out here on the unit circle is negative 1, 0. And this point here is the point 0, negative 1. Now there's infinitely other points on here, and we'll look for some of those here in a second. But notice, if I take my point, x equals 1, y equals 0, and I plug it into my formula for the circle, notice 1 squared is 1 plus 0 equals 1. If I plug this point into our formula for our circle, 0 squared is 0, plus 1 squared is 1, and 1 equals 1, etc. In fact, any point that we find on this circle, okay, we could plug it into our formula, and this will always be equivalent. For example, let's determine which of the following points are on the unit circle. In other words, do these points lie on the circle? And if we plug the x-coordinate and y-coordinate into our equation, will this be satisfied? All right, so let's check it out. Of course, this one is, because we've already plotted that point. Right? Negative 1, 0 is right there. So that one is on the unit circle. Let's check out this point. Now, how are we going to prove that this point is or is not on the circle? Well, we have the equation. Let's plug the x value in for the x. We'll plug the y value in for the y, and we'll see if it equals 1. So let's plug the x coordinate in for x. So 1 over the square root of 2 squared plus negative 1 over the square root of 2 squared. We want to check, does that equal 1? If it does, it's on the circle. If not, it's not on the circle. Well, to square a fraction, you square the top, or the numerator. Square of 1 is 1. To square the square root of 2, that just gets rid of the square root sign. We're left with a half. Plus, negative 1 squared is a positive 1. Square root of 2 squared is just 2. And 1/2 plus 1/2 does equal 1. So yes, this point is on the unit circle. So let's figure out where that point's at. 1 over the square root of 2. Negative 1 over square root of 2. That must be in quadrant 4. So 1 over square root of 2, maybe it's out here somewhere. And negative 1 over square root of 2, maybe down here somewhere. So there's the point. Okay? All right, let's check out the last one. Is the point 1/2, 1/2 on the unit circle? Well, again, let's check to see. Let's plug a 1/2 in for x, a 1/2 in for y, and we'll see if it equals 1. So 1/2 squared plus 1/2 squared, does that equal 1? 1/2 squared, remember we squared the top, or the numerator, and we square the denominator. Same thing here. Does that equal 1? 1/4 plus 1/4 is a half, and 1/2 does not equal 1. So this point, 1/2, 1/2, is not on the unit circle. Okay? So what you need to remember is this. Here's the equation of our unit circle. Okay? And we're going to start finding points on this unit circle, and it's going to be very important that you have a good understanding of what this thing is.